No matter if it's a close game or a blowout, Northside head coach Eric Burnett can always count on Tevin Brewer to have a cool demeanor on the court, which helps him lead the team.
He never gets rattled. He's just a calm guy when he's on the floor, when the ball is in his hands. He wants that moment, and these guys feed off that.
Even in a one-on-one matchup, the 5'7" Brewer never gets intimidated by who's guarding him. His confidence on the floor is a big reason why he's currently leading the Grizzlies in scoring, averaging 18 points per game.
What's really going through my mind is that nobody can guard me on the court. So that's why I stayed through the whole season, that nobody can guard me on the best one on the court.
In his mind, he's not 5'7". Tevin thinks he's 6'5", and he ain't scared of nobody, and he's gonna attack whoever he's going against.
But it's not just Brewer's scoring abilities that's helped Northside to a 6-2 record in 7A Central play. He also leads the team in assists, dishing out nearly 5 per game.
I take pride in my assisting. I like passing the ball first instead of just scoring. That's my mentality, just do everything that the team needs me to do.
Brewer and the Grizzlies are aiming for another deep postseason run, and the senior is willing to do whatever it takes to help North. Sharp shooting by junior Grace Brown led to the first ever national championship for the University of the Ozarks.
I really didn't think I was going to make it into the finals. Whatever happens, happens, and I'm just happy to be here. And then it just happened to come out first.
The Boonville native rose above her competition at the ACU-wide national tournament last month, hitting a combined 33 out of 40 clay targets in the final round to capture gold in international bunker trap.
It was crazy. I was trying to hold back the tears. I cry really easily, and as soon as I got to the stands, I started bawling. And then, of course, both my parents were crying, and so it was a surreal moment.
Brown says it was changes in her shooting style and mindset made shortly before the tournament that helped her claim the title.
I went down to Tiller, and I got a new coach. His name's Dan Carlisle, and so he coached me while I was down there, and he ended up changing everything I've ever known about shooting, and so went down there to nationals and just tried to put that into play.
You would think that a national champion like Grace would have been a longtime fan of the sport, but it took some coercion by her father, who happens to be the assistant coach, to get her behind the gun.
I really hated it at first. It wasn't very good. I would only hit like 2 or 3 out of 25, and I didn't like going to practice or anything.
She was also drawn by the challenge of competing in a male-dominated sport.
I started beating boys, and so that was really the basic motivation.
Once the underdogs of the trap shooting world, Brown and her teammates have elevated the Eagles to the status of being nationally recognized.
Watching her go out there and crush, clay target after clay target with 1 shot, 2 shots, and just, run away with the trophy. It was a great feeling. It was awesome to see that everything is paying off.
This year was supposed to be a rebuilding year for Northside since they lost key seniors from last season's squad, but since the 2017 campaign has kicked off, the Grizzlies have been a hard team to beat.
I am a little bit surprised about the way the boys are playing right now, given that we are pretty young compared to how we have been other years.
The Grizzlies are currently the 7A Central leaders and have dropped just 2 games out of 17 contests. They even check in at number 44 in national rankings, but that's not what drives them.
I don't really think we pay attention to a lot of the rankings or other than conference, because conference is the only ranking we really need.
Northside's success has been guided by great leadership, not only from head coach Mauricio Maciel, but also by 2 senior captains, Cesar Ramirez and Kareem Emidon.
The coaches can only do so much, and they need a leader on the field, and I think me and Kareem do a good job of doing that. Every game, you got to give it everything you've got. You've got to set an example for the younger kids that are coming up.
Ramirez leads the team with 16 goals made, and Emidon leads vocally both on and off the field.
They have stepped up to the plate and lead us in a good way.
Playing deep into the postseason is something the Grizzlies have come accustomed to. Their practice jerseys they wear remind them of their overall goal, which is to add another state title to the list on their backs.
Every time they look at that shirt, they are reminded that we have established a tradition and we're not going to settle for anything less.
Southside's Hunter Morton will be playing football for Arkansas State in the fall, but for now, he's focused on breaking his personal record in the shot put.
After football's over, straight to track, work out a little bit, and that's usually my schedule.
Shot put is not an event that Hunter just casually picked up during the football offseason. He started middle school with the help of his older brother, who won a state title in shot put while at Southside.
He was a big role model for me in shot put. My brother pretty much showed me. He was throwing in high school at the time, so he introduced me to it, and we practiced a lot with it.
Mavericks assistant coach Brett Bricker, who has coached both Morton brothers, sees several similarities between the two, especially when it comes to their competitive drive.
They're very much alike. Both of them have that I want to do well attitude, and it shows in all he does.
Hunter has continued the family legacy of success in track and field, winning the 7A crown Thursday in shot put with a throw of 50 feet 2 inches.
I'm pretty proud of myself right now as throwing what I did and winning state as a shot put.
Morton will have one more shot of breaking his PR next week at the final track meet of the season, which will also be his last time competing in track and field.
My PR was 52.4 or 52.7. I got meet of champs now, so we can see if I can pass 52.4 next Saturday.
On his 17th birthday, Greenwood quarterback Connor Nolan announced that he was committing to Arkansas to play both football and baseball, something that has only been done twice in the past 25 years.
I mean, I always thought it would be one or the other, but I mean, obviously, it's a blessing to be able to play both.
Being the #1 baseball and the #2 football prospect in the state, Nolan's summer has been different than most of his classmates. He spent most of his time at unofficial visits across the country, and even though he had a lot of other offers, he feels that he made the right choice.
You know, I've just been trying to go around and find the right school for me. You know, I went all across the country and really tried to find the right place for me, and I think I've done that.
It's not hard to see that the future is bright for the dual sport athlete, but as for which sport he sees in the long-term future...
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think I always wanted to be a pro baseball player, but I started playing baseball first. I was like 3 years old, and that was always my dream.
But he's not counting out pro football yet either.
Same thing. It's always been, you know, I want to play in the NFL. That was always my thing. You know, when I turned 7, I was like, I want to play for the Cowboys. When I lived here, that was our team. I actually slept with the Cowboys helmet on when I was 3 to probably 7.
For now, though, Nolan is focused on his final 2 years as a Bulldog.
We got close last year, winning a state championship. I think that's our goal this year and next year. I mean, that's all high school experience. You just want to win a state championship, so that's all I'm focused on. Going to work hard for it.
From Greenwood, covering the sports where you live, Brooke Grimsley, 5 News Sports. Just last Sunday, the #2 player in the world, Brooke Henderson, defeated the #1 ranked Lydia Ko. Now this weekend, the two will face off against each other here at Pinnacle Country Club.
My first major championship was extremely cool, and the way I did it, you know, I really came on the back nine and kind of climbed up the leaderboard to the #1 spot, tied with Lydia Ko, you know, the #1 player in the world, and everything kind of fell my way, and to hoist that trophy for the first time was really cool.
Ko was en route to win her 3rd straight major last weekend, but 18-year-old Henderson edged her for the championship. But the two don't see the Northwest Arkansas Championship as a rematch.
We're all competing against each other, but at the end of the day, she's a really sweet person. You know, it was great just to see her win, and especially with her playing really well this year, putting herself in good position. I think we all knew the win was coming.
This weekend won't be the last time the two will face one another. They have 2 more majors before both will represent their respective countries in the Rio Olympics.
I'm starting to preparations and starting to plan to go down there, so I'm really excited and hoping to defend the gold medal that Canada won over 100 years ago in golf when it was last in, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Henderson, Ko, and other top players from all over the world will begin their run for the championship tomorrow, starting with the first tee time at 7:30 a.m. From Pinnacle Country Club, Brooke Grimsley, 5 News Sports.